Well, NBLC Nation, you know what this is all about. This is year 6 and chapter 1 of the 401 rivalry as the Windsor Express travel to play against the London Lightning. Live from Budweiser Gardens, we welcome you to the London Lightning basketball here on Knoxham.tv. Aaron Sanders alongside JP, Justin Prince. Good evening to each and every one of you. JP, both of these clubs have gone through an interesting route. Both of these clubs are coming back. I bet you they're tired after a long East trip, and same goes for the Lightning. But when it comes to all that, you know, both of these clubs got to be rejuvenated because this is a 401 rivalry. With that being said, what is going through the minds of both of these clubs knowing that they're just coming back from a trip and now they're looking to get into the win column?
I think that's a good question. It's going to be two different mindsets, I think. For Windsor's side, you're thinking, we got to get a win in this situation. They're coming in with a 3-game losing streak, of course, heading into tonight. So on top of that, having some exhausted players out there tonight, they're going to be trying to fight for the win and try and contain things. We'll discuss that a bit more. But for London, I think the main thing is they got to keep up what they did last night in the second half of the game against Niagara, where they turned a 10-point deficit into 70-plus points in that second half for the London side. So essentially, the mindset, I think, for both of these sides basically is, we got to win, we got to prove we're the better of the two rivals here tonight.
And it was all because they scored 41 points in the third quarter last night and a lot of hoopla among all that. We'll talk about the Windsor Express. After going 2-0 at the beginning of the season, they dropped their 3, as you said. They traveled east, they lost to Halifax, and they lost to Cape Breton. I mean, both of those games they really wanted to have in the bag, but now, what's going on with them?
I think right now what's going on with them is they're trying to get themselves together. It's just the start of the season. Try and get some chemistry together. They just had 3 returning players, of course, the Express for this season, and Shaq Keith, Maurice Jones, and former league MVP Logan Stutz. So it's going to take some time for things to gel. That's what happened about 2 years ago when it was a similar situation for the Express. So they're going to be good to go in probably in a little while, I think. But part of the process, winning rivalry games. Tonight, if they want to get the gel together, they got to start tonight.
And we checked out during the preseason that the London Lightning were down by as much as 21 because of the Express, and they had a powerful offense. But the London Lightning persevered, and stop me if you heard this one, in the second half. The Windsor Express, on the other hand, they have a couple of new guys around there. I mean, Devin White for one, but Braylon Raceland has been lighting up the charts as of lately.
Yes, he's been someone definitely impressive for this Windsor side. About 13 points per game so far on the season, and has been someone where, when I tweeted out it was coming towards this game for tonight, actually, I had a person from 16 Wins a Ring, which is one of the main sports blog sites for NBA, say, watch out for him. So he's on radars for guys in Boston, for crying out loud. That's how good of a player he is. Definitely going to be interesting to see if he can keep up that offensive production tonight. He'll be not in the starting lineup tonight, but he'll be a big factor, I think, off the bench for Windsor.
London Lightning, even though they didn't take care of business against the St. John's Edge, I mean, it was one of those games where it didn't go their way, but then they come into Niagara last night and they took care of business. We got to address the elephant in the room about the Royce White and Ryan Anderson situation. What is the latest on that?
Well, as of about 1 hour ago, it's now official. It's a 1-game suspension if you are just tuning in or finding out, for Royce White and Ryan Anderson for tonight's game, for this situation that happened in the final at the 1:58 mark to go in the second quarter mark. For basically, the main thought process, I think, is, especially this being a rivalry game and a back-to-back for London, keep the emotions in check. You cannot have that happen tonight in 2 games like that in a row, or else you're going to be very short-handed right now. They've had to have Dixon Green and Capers move into the starting lineup for those 2 players. So they can't afford to have something like that happen tonight and let the emotions bubble over, especially against Windsor.
And incidentally, I got to mention this on air. I called it, did I not? Yohani Damon there and Martin Dixon Green will start because they have been very efficient coming off the bench. Now they're getting their just due, so it's only a matter of time to see what this 1-2 punch could deliver.
It's going to be interesting, that's for sure, because I was speaking, for example, with Coach Cusimano, Pete Cusimano, for the Express, and the main game plan for was, well, they didn't really have one. It was mainly that they wanted to contain this depth for the team. In his opinion, London is possibly the best team in the league, he said himself. So right now, they're going to try and contain it right now if you're Windsor. So it's going to be tough to stop that 1-2 punch for London tonight.
And it might be better, too. Kyle Anderson just signed back, so he's going to come back, but we don't know if it's going to be for this game. I'm sure it's going to be in those future games as well.
To correct you, Kyle Johnson.
But
that was also around the same time as the suspension announcement. Definitely adding some more scoring depth for this roster. A few people may disagree, but a lot of people, especially Morris Del Costa, for example, was talking with him. He felt he was the perfect player to have the consistent scoring and consistent shooting for this roster for the remaining parts of this season, potentially off the bench, of course. So a big player to bring back on if you're the Lightning.
I'm glad you cleared that up, because being a Spurs fan, having that on the brain, you corrected right there. So Kyle Johnson's going to be coming back, the guy that dropped 51. So you might expect him to play back on the WFCU center floor and put on a big number, and the Budweiser Gardens court as well. 401 rivalry. Okay, you mentioned that both of these clubs got to contain their cool tonight. What else got to be the bottom line for both of these clubs tonight?
For both of these clubs right now, stay out of foul trouble and keep up with your shooting, because London last night, they shot a lot of threes, and of course they ended up winning that three-point battle. But if a few different shots went different ways for the River Lions, for example, and open shots in that late going, we might be talking about how London's on a losing streak right now instead. So right now, if you're London, you want to get the shooting together and get some consistency as well as on the defensive end, because you're allowing 113 points per game. Yes, you may be scoring 112 yourself, but it doesn't matter if you're allowing that many points. You're going to struggle to win games if you allow on that much of an average. For Windsor, once again, containing that offense for London Lightning and getting things locked up with this depth, making sure you can keep up to the pace and getting things to gel together as much as you can. Right now, get some offensive production from Logan Stutz, for example. Get a bunch of different players involved on top of Stutz as well. And I think Windsor will be able to make this thing close, just like how they performed in that preseason game. One thing for Windsor, too, contain the second half by far.
They're the best second half team in the NBLC, no question about it. One of the reasons why they dropped 41 points, because they get revitalized and rejuvenated when they come out of that locker room, and I'm sure Keith Vassell says a lot of things. Okay, quick announcement right here. For the rest of the way during the season, JP and I will be splitting play-by-play duties, so I'll take care of half the games and JP will take care of the other half. Starting tonight, I'll be doing this game along with Chris Croucher, but it's going to be a busy night for not only us, but for the NBLC, JP. We got 6 other teams that are in competition tonight, and it's going to be a long night, but it's going to be a fun one too.
It's going to be a long night and a fun one, but that's what happens when you have Saturday night hoops here in Canada. You got a lot of good games, especially for tonight across the league. Some in the Atlantic time zone, some of them in the Eastern time zone, of course. And then, of course, the 401 rivalry tonight as that 4th game really is part of this big, giant block. So if you're an NBLC fan, I think you have probably 2-3 TVs up with the different streams watching the different games, possibly a couple in split screen.
But right now, ladies and gentlemen, live from London, it's Saturday night. The Windsor Express and the London Lightning will have the anthems and the starters and the tip-off right after this. You're watching the London Lightning on Knoxstrom.tv.
for tonight's game, would you please welcome Mr. Rich Stellick, Mr. Ross Hesley, and Mr. Tony Turnbull. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we would ask that you please rise and remove your hats for the singing of the Canadian National Anthem to be performed by Ellie Marucci.
And we hear Mike DeLohe, the PA announcer, introducing the starting lineups for both clubs, the Windsor Express and the London Lightning here, the good old 401 tilt. Like I said before, it is year 6 in chapter 1 of this 401 rivalry. Aaron Sanders with Chris Croucher. And we already mentioned Chris, about a lot of things going on the line, but one thing is for sure, both of these clubs got to be tired. Just coming from the East and having a few games during the week, they have to feel revitalized now, knowing that this 401 rivalry means a whole lot, especially in the early goings of this season.
And you know, it's almost misleading when you look at the record these two teams have had against each other, because it was so one-sided last season. But almost every year before, it's been pretty much even. And if you take away the first season, the rivalry is actually pretty close to a tie. So looking at it that way, these two teams have consistently given you equal matchups. They've consistently battled. They've consistently had that heat. Now they're both a little bit tired, but they're also both looking to turn things around. London had a rough start to the season, won in Niagara, but they also lost Ryan Anderson and Royce White. We can announce to 1-game suspensions. And then looking at it on the Windsor end, they just haven't had a tough stretch. They've dropped 3 in a row. This is the end of their road trip. They get to go back home after this one, but they can end it strong. They can get that 1 win, so they can at least say they got something out of that road trip here tonight here in London.
Windsor Express, after winning their first 2 games at the beginning of the season, they're looking for answers, but once again, this is a club that everybody has their eyes on, because there has been a couple of rookies that got the deal done. Number 1, you got Devin White, and then you have Braylon Rayson. We see the tip-off.
False start.
A false start right there. And another one. They say third time's a charm, and it is, and we are underway here at Budweiser Gardens. Glad you're joining us right here on Notchroom.tv for NBL Canada action. We see Chad Frazier, one of the new guys we were talking about, played for Cape Breton last year. Pull-up jumper by Shaq Keith. Hits the side, and here comes the Lightning. Garrett Williamson, one of the catalysts in the backcourt for the Lightning. Stop pop 3, no good. And they get the ball back. There's a good fight for it. And we see Joel Friesen working the room, driving inside between Logan Stutz, gets it up and in.
Excellent play there from Friesen. I like what London did on that possession. Windsor kind of rushed their first shot of the game, but London, they take their time, set it up, and make sure they get on the board first.
And they sure want to have a very strong first half, because we mentioned over and over again how tough and how brutal this team is in the last 2 quarters. Keith inside, quick spin move, puts it off the glass.
And that's more of the kind of possession I want to see from Shaq Keith. Not a ton of big guys on this team that are able to score, so I like seeing Keith down low. Of course, that's not any offense to Logan Stutz there.
No, nothing to it. On the backup, Williamson falls down, draws the foul. First foul of the game. And to go back on Garrett Williamson, Chris, we even mentioned on the telecast during the last postseason how effective he is when it comes to scoring. That tip-in against Windsor in Game 2, in the Mother's Day battle right there, Game 2 and all that other stuff. But Williamson, he's been lighting up the boards as well for the London Lightning.
He's a guy who doesn't really need anything run through him. He's a guy who can work within any offensive system. He can go and get you 30 points if you need 30 points. He can go get you 10 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, and not think anything of it. He's just able to provide whatever the team's missing, although he's going to miss that free throw there.
And he's a veteran leader, so you got to expect that leadership from him after being on the Lightning for a few years. We got lightning quick Maurice Jones driving down the sideline, trying to cross some ankles. He does. And then the passes go back outside. Chad Frazier inside the Stutz. Stutz trying to back down, falls away himself. That shot's a no-go. Is it a rebound by the aforementioned Garrett Williamson? Pull up 3. It's good for Joel Friesen.
This is a bit of a scary start if you're the Windsor Express. London's already been able to get points off of 3 consecutive possessions.
And the Express, despite a lot of depth in the backcourt, they really got to find some answers, because there were some shots that couldn't go for Keith and Stutz. And now he has the ball, going one-on-one, gets double team, falls away, no good. And here comes the Lightning again, full strength. Handoff, Dixon Green, off. It's a rebound. So we're going to see how Chad Frazier works into the Windsor Express system like that. Crosses over, banks it off, no good. Quick rebound. Shot is no good. Heartbreak City for the Windsor Express. That rim looks like it has cellophane on it. The drive, the spin, Williamson.
Excellent job there, Garrett Williamson. So good at adjusting to contact, getting in the lane, and able to convert 2 points there for London.
Frazier, Keith. Jones, a little shifty footwork early on. Pulls up. No good. A little too much mustard on the hot dog as the London Lightning go back on their side. Williamson over Keith. Here's a quick rebound. Jones on the handoff. Gets the ball back, goes to the right side, skips it outside. Devin White on the fall away shot, no good. And so far the Windsor Express haven't found any answers on the shots. Been getting good looks, but it hasn't been able to go. What a quick cut to the right to the basket.
That was a little bit too easy there. That was a little bit too easy for Dixon Green getting the hole.
On the
I
other
want to see
end,
a bit more, and that's going to be a charge the other way.
Offensive foul. Shaq Keith, a little too much muscle down the lane. So we're just in the early goings of this game, 10-2 in favor of the London Lightning. Both of these clubs would love to get into winning ways in the early goings of this season, and the London Lightning got the 8-point edge in the early goings of this game. 3 on the way, off the side, and here comes Keith with the rebound. Jones. He's really improved his game during the offseason, and getting Rookie of the Year last season just really does it a lot of credit. Quick cut right there. Oh, Chad Frazier goes inside to the basket. He gets fouled. He's off to the line.
I like seeing that from Windsor. London, a team that they're a little short-handed right now. Of course, missing Anderson, missing White. Shorter bench, that means you want to try and tire them out. You want to go inside. You want to crash and bang. You want to make this game a little more difficult for them. Make them have to go to their bench early and make them have to burn through that depth quickly.
The new coming Chad Frazier at the line. And once again, he impressed plenty of people when he played for the formerly expansion Cape Breton Highlanders last year. Lit up a lot of scoring figures for them.
At 16 points per game, one of the leading scorers for the team.
Indeed. They were 1 game short of making the playoffs. Here comes Williamson upside. Looked like an alley-oop, but no. Good defensive stop right there for the Express, and on they go. Keith at the corner. Looking for the Stutz pick. A little bit too early. Jones. Going to work. Goes through 2 defenders. Scoops it up. No good. Stutz with the rebound and the follow. So the lead is cut into 4 with 7:20 to go. Williamson going to work against Stutz. Instead, deflects it back over. 6 on the shot clock. Cross court over to Capers. Fires at will, and it barely hits iron. It's going to be a 24-second violation.
I was going to say, I don't think that hit iron, so good job by the refs. A little slow in stopping it, but they made the right call.
Windsor Express, good defensive stop. They were able to shift around from one end of the court to another during those series of cross-court passes applied by the London Lightning.
And that's one of the ways you can kind of get to London is if you can stop those corner threes, you really do take away quite a bit of their game.
Jones gets blocked away. Good defensive stop right there.
You know, Martin Dixon Green, a guy who newcomer to the league, Canadian, from Scarborough. He's a guy who Keith Vassell actually noticed in the years ago while he was with Niagara College, and a guy who he kept tabs on, and then when he had an opportunity here in London, a guy he reached out to see if he'd come play.
And once again, it just preached to how valuable the Canadian content is in this league. 3 on the way for Devin White is no good. That's an air ball if I've seen one. Friesen for 3.
Well, Friesen showing him how it's done right there. Great job. London, if they can have that three-point shooting going, that's something that eluded them in the early games this year. They can start making those threes. This is going to be a big and very different offense.
They want to avenge that 20+% three-point display from last night, and they might be on the track for it. 3 on the way is no good. Quick rebound right there, and that's Devin White going to work. London looking for answers. They got a kickball, so they will inbound it from the sideline. right before we have a media timeout. 13-8, and the London Lightning adding a lot of blows on the early goings of this game. Chris, what have you liked from them so far?
Well, they're moving the ball very well, and they're opening up a lot of those three-point attempts through ball movement. You're not really seeing a lot of guys trying to go one-on-one. You're seeing a lot of teamwork going on offense there. Back the other way with Windsor, they're moving the ball well. It's just some of the times where the ball ends, where the guy takes the shot, it's not really the guy you want to see taking that shot. So I think for Windsor, you're going to want to try and set up a little bit more for guys like Stutz, guys like Mo Jones, and see if you can get them going early. London, despite their struggles to start the year, #1 offense in the league. So you are going to need to get your big guns going if you're going to try and keep up scoring-wise.
Well, you got to take that responsibility in your own hands, considering they score 112 points per game. But on the other end of it, the Windsor Express, you already mentioned Logan Stutz, but Shaquille Keith, both of those guys haven't got a shot going. They're really going to this game, but I guess this is how they fit into this game. Like, they got to warm themselves up, as we've seen over and over again between these two NBLC veterans.
You know, one guy I'm actually really excited to see in this game, one of my favorites to watch, is Maurice Jones. Just because he's got such an exciting style of play. He's so quick and explosive. And one of the things, you mentioned him working on things in the offseason, one of the differences I've noticed from last year to this year is how much better he is at taking care of the ball. His assist-to-turnover ratio, he's averaging 8 assists to only 2 turnovers per game, which for a guy who handles the ball as much as Maurice Jones does during a game is a very, very low number, those two turnovers. So him being able to take care of the ball, maximize their possession time, that's going to be important for Windsor if they're going to keep up that scoring pace that London's been known for.
And you can see the confidence of Maurice Jones increase when he dribbles the ball down to the wing. He doesn't pressure himself. He doesn't get double teamed because he has those quickness inside those young legs of his. He actually breaks through the defense and penetrates right to the basket. But on the other hand, we got the London Lightning who have the ball from the sideline. Under 6 minutes to go in the opening frame. Friesen off the pick. 2 passes in as we see Kirk Williams Jr. comes in again. For tonight, another 24-second violation for the Lightning, as that shot didn't hit iron at all. So for the Windsor Express, if they want to increase their chances to become an equitable match for the Lightning, this could be the possession to do it. Stutz with the fake, gets trapped, kicks it back outside. Jones fires a 3. Goes in and out like a fast food restaurant. Great
help defense there by the Lightning, but one thing I like from Stutz that's going to make him more dangerous, he had a tendency to hold on to the ball in those situations. Now he's looking at that three-point line, seeing who's open.
Williams Jr. fires a 3. Pinballs off the rim. And a good sense of urgency for the Express. Friesen. 3 more for the board for the Lightning as they expand this lead into 8.
And if I'm London, no one else is touching the ball on offense. You've got Joel Friesen hot. You're going to ride that train as long as you can.
Rayson, one of the influential players for the Express, comes in, misses the shot. White goes outside. Rayson at the corner, trying to break his way through it. Now Keith will reset. Goes off Devin White's screen. Drives. Fires. Calls the foul.
And again, I really do think this is where Windsor needs to go. Down low, take advantage of the shorter London bench. London already going to that bench for seeing Williamson back into the game alongside Brian Akinkube. That's going to be Yohani Dallenberg and Marcus Capers stepping off.
We see Sefton Barrett coming into the game for the first time this evening. And I believe Sefton Barrett gets overlooked a lot. Yes, he's been a part of the classic London Lightning championship team. Played last year with Cape Breton among all the others, but he could be the guy that could actually do it, like one of the core assets for the London Lightning bench, as those free throws don't go.
Well, as far as Canadian content goes, Sefton Barrett, one of the better Canadians in this league too. Having those guys who are Canadian can play makes a huge difference for a team.
Jones with the rebound off the Williamson miss, and here they come. They're all clustered. Rayson, he steps on the line. He'll go the other way.
And we've seen that so many times. There's no border on the out-of-bounds line here like you usually see on a lot of courts, so a lot of guys kind of clip their heel on that out-of-bounds line.
So tiptoeing through the tulips won't do it for Braylon Rayson. As we have 4:15 to go. Friesen misses the 3. He was about to go on a rage. Fast break for the Express. Rayson redeems himself. Here comes Stutz inside to Keith. Keith down low. Beautiful spin move. He goes for the foul.
That's going to be the first on Akinkube. And I like the focus again, Windsor Hubert that time. Just going to the rim, keeping it simple, nothing fancy. Just some good, dirty basketball and getting to the rim.
Hubert, my mistake. I'm sure he was pretty excited when he had his first start a couple of nights ago. A lot of people are talking about him around the Windsor-Essex area. And he's a good addition for the Windsor Express, especially down in the front court. 6'10" fella, played in North Carolina, home of the Tar Heels, as he misses those free throws. Loose ball on the ground. Who's going to get it? It's going to be the Lightning. Off the Akinkube pick is Sefton Barrett. They'll retain the ball with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Right after a brief discussion with the refs.
Yeah, I think both refs just making sure they on the same page on that call.
And they are. They will inbound at sidelines with 15 seconds to go on the shot clock. Good screen right there for Laddie to break through. Friesen, jump hook. No good. Gets his own rebound. Nothing. Keith wants to go to work. He does. He goes back to his home. Fires it away. A beautiful ice cream scoop with the reverse.
That was a really tough situation for Kirk Williams Jr. Great job not taking the foul, but Shaq Keith, even better job of dealing with Kirk Williams Jr. and getting the 2 points.
Williams Jr. loses control of the ball. It'll be Express ball.
You know, we're seeing that media timeout. I don't think that helped London one bit because they just seem a little bit disjointed coming out of that.
You see a lot more confidence with the Express when it comes to their shooting. They're breaking off all those screens more effectively, and the off-the-ball direction has been working well for them as Jones goes inside, scoop and all with the reverse. I told you, you know what, I call him Mighty Mouse off the air because he's such that capable player to go through. 3 on the way is no good. Good rebound inside. What a great fight for the ball.
Oh, man.
You got to admire that if you're Keith Vassell.
Well, I mean, the fact that there was 4 Windsor Express players there standing and watching, and he's just able to still get the ball up there for the shot attempt that sends him to the line. We're going to see a timeout by the Lightning here. I think Coach Vassell just wants to talk strategy here and see if they can get something going on offense, because that offense coming out of the media timeout really stalled there.
They're frozen right there before the foul right there. Chris, there's a lot of things going on in the NBLC right now. We got 3 other games at the present time. We got Moncton playing St. John's Riptide right now. Tide are up 61-46 in the third quarter. And it's the good old rivalry between the Island Storm and the Moncton Magic, 73-72 for them. And incidentally, Chris asked me, I think it's the beginning of a perfect rivalry between the Storm and the Magic, because last week, a big old 3 by Frank Session gave the Storm a victory, and that was one of those get-down games, get down right to the nitty-gritty.
And even the Miracles back in their earlier days, the Moncton Miracles and Island Storm were really a very heated out east matchup there. So Magic, new team, but you know that rivalry is still going to be there.
I don't think, considering how much talent and how good of a coach Joe Salerno is, you can even consider it a new team, because that's how powerful they are. They got the veteran leadership and all of that, but you know what? It goes to show that Joe Salerno's done his homework with these
There's
players.
a lot of NBLC experience, starting with Joe Salerno and a lot of the guys that he was able to bring in. So that Moncton team, you know, they're new in name only, because there's a lot of years of NBL experience on that team.
And we see the River Lions. They're at the Meridian Center playing host to the KW Titans. Tight game right there, 20-18.
Low scoring.
And the River Lions, you know, despite having an undefeated record at the time, they lost a couple to the St. John's Edge, but now they're still trying to regroup. They're still trying to gel, but this is one of the most powerful teams in the Central Division, I think. So we got Akinkube at the line, splits a pair of free throws. Quick dive for the ball, and the Lightning get it back. Quick 3 from the corner, no good. Put back by Williams Jr. No, the tip-in is...
That was one of the 2, Akinkube and Williams Jr. both right there. Scorekeeper saying Akinkube there.
He's one of those guys you really need for the London Lightning. Resiliency and persistency at its best coming off the bench.
He oozes defensive potential, and he's showing a little more offense than I think even the coaching staff thought this year.
2:20 to go. Good Dirk Nowitzki spin move right there by Logan Stutz with a perfect jump hook to boot.
Well, Logan Stutz, that's what won him an MVP award. Just so silky smooth with his footwork whenever he's anywhere within the key.
He's lightning quick, and he will penetrate the defense immediately. Freeze into the basket. And here comes the aforementioned Stutz over the Jones. Jones slowing things down, Butterfingers, and here comes the Lightning on the break. Friesen, 2-on-1, all by himself, pump fakes, and the put back is good. Sefton Barrett.
Just a good heads-up play by Sefton Barrett there. That's kind of an experience play. He let everyone sort of get rambunctious under the hoop, and then when the ball came out past them, he was right there.
You can see them clicking on all cylinders after that Keith Fazell timeout. Jones back at the corner. 1:34 to go. Driving inside near the free throw line, gives it inside. Count that, and a foul.
Yeah, Hubert adjusting to the contact very well. Again, one of the younger players, one of the guys we don't know as much about, but definitely showing some stuff here.
So Desmond Hubert giving 110% of his time on the court. Logan Stutz comes back out. And right there for the rebound is Williams Jr. Williamson fires it up. You better count that, baby. And I think that's a veteran move that you keep on playing even after the whistle. You just fire it at will because you still have that balance with you in the air. So you're able to have one free hand just to put it through the hoop because you never know. As he completes the and one.
And that's really Garrett Williamson's bread and butter. Get to the rim, get contact, draw the foul at a point at the line.
So we got a lot of players to talk about that are new to the Windsor Express, but we'll go by them as this game progresses. Braylon Rayson, on the other hand, fires a three, and it's no good. Good key rebound right there for the Lightning. What a Euro. But the refs are going to call travel. I mean, good sense of urgency for the Lightning, but they were a little too far from the basket to pull off that move. Under a minute to go, and the Lightning have a 7-point edge over the Windsor Express. Both of these clubs have 2 fouls to give. Good pump fake right there by Apachong. And the pull-up, the bank is open.
Hey, it's not how, it's how many, and that's going to be 2 points for the Windsor Express.
The bank is open on Saturday night. Good pass stripped away. The Bolts retain it. Good steal right there by Rayson. They're on a fast break, but they're outnumbered 2-3, and a good chase down block. Sefton Barrett blocking it. The leaner, no good. And a good tip around by the Express. They'll have the ball, and they'll look for the final shot as the shot clock is dead. 6 seconds. And Chimpong to the basket. Good cut right there. Desmond Hubert misses it. And that is the story for the first quarter. 5-point game, 24-19. We'll return for more second quarter action here from Budweiser Gardens in just a moment. We welcome you back here to Budweiser Gardens here in lovely London, Ontario, here on Knockstrom.tv. Lightning 24, Express 19. It is no question about it, Chris. We keep on preaching to the choir about the 401 rivalry. It's starting to heat up here.
Well, I mean, both teams coming into this game with something to lose because, you know, Windsor's trying to salvage a road trip that really hasn't worked out in their favor. London trying to keep building momentum after what was a rough start to the year. Now they're trying to get back on track. They had the win against Niagara, come from behind last game. Now down 2 players. They're trying to do a similar thing here. Maybe not come from behind, but pull out a W.
Both of these clubs in pursuit of a W as we begin the second quarter. Williamson's back into the game right now. Cuts it inside.
Great pass to Kirk Williams there. Just a nice little soft pass. Put it right in his hands, and he's able to make a nice clean sweep to the basket.
A good textbook high-low pass right there. Look at the one-on-one being applied right here. Devin White, jump hook, no good. Who has the ball? It's the Lightning regardless. Barrett off the screen. Williams Jr. on the work, has some room, skips it outside. Shot's no good. Quick rebound by Barrett. Williams Jr. second time to go, no good. Rebound Racing. And that's one of the reasons why he almost averages a double-double per game. Frazier inside, and that's a travel. He thought he got tagged on that one, but that was all on his own.
No, he definitely didn't lose that ball, but I don't blame him for trying to sell it there.
London Lightning get the ball back. They have a 7-point cushion at the prime time being. Dixon Green. He's the guy that caught my eye earlier this season. Teardrop by Williamson's no good. The Express get the rebound. Raised into the corner. Fakes left. Racing again, goes off the pick. Falls away, got it.
Tough shot there, but a great make there from Braylon Racing. So far, one of the better looking rookies in here in the NBLC.
And you can see the good chemistry applied by Hubert Williamson to the basket.
I mean, what more can we say about Garrett Williamson? Anderson out, White out. He's taking the scoring burden.
Pull-up jumpers, no good. London Lightning capitalizing on the rebounds. Quick reset. Williamson to Williams Jr. Footwork. The jumper, no. Good pass. Dixon Green goes to work with a reverse, and it doesn't go. The donut misses the coffee barely.
Almost a beautiful play there with the under and over dunk right there.
That would have been capable of a top tenner. Grayson all by himself.
Whew. Tough shot there, but able to connect, and he's giving them a nice little scoring burst off the bench here, keeping Express in this game.
That's his game right there, and the lead has been cut to 4 with 9:05 to go. Williamson goes to work between 3 Express players. Substitutions applied. Maurice Jones and Logan Stutz will come back in. Lightning will make a substitution of their own. Marcus Capers returns. So the Lightning will work with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Barely 9 minutes to go in the half. Inbounds to Dixon Green. Look at the footwork. And it pays off right there for Johanny Dallenberg. Racing again. He likes to take charge. Misses the 3.
Bit of a heat check there, but I don't blame him the way he was shooting before.
Pick up for Williamson all the way with the finger roll.
I mean, that's just classic Garrett Williamson. Fans here in London have seen it for years now, and my goodness, when he goes to the rim, it's almost picturesque the way he's able to do it.
You know, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I bet you he's going to grab 1,000 points. Stutz, count it, and a foul.
And again, Windsor finding success going inside. They had Rayson make those shots. That's going to space out the floor a bit and open up the lanes for Windsor to go inside. So look for them to do that for the next couple possessions.
And you know, it builds up the confidence right there, especially when Logan Stutz get a clear cut way to the basket, being able to get his body ready to take the contact and the and one as he completes the free throw. Leads cutting to 5, 32-27 with 8:14 to go. Aaron Sanders and Chris Croucher bringing it to you on Notchstrom.tv. Good pump fake, pumps it twice. It is no good for Kirk Williams Jr. Here comes the breakaway. Euro and the floater, no, but Chad Frazier will go to the line, and so far he's been very effective for this Lightning team, for the Express team rather, since being signed up.
Yeah, and he really took that foul there. Johanny Dallenberg coming in quite aggressively towards the back of him, but he'll get up okay. We're going to see another substitution here for the Windsor Express.
We're going to see Shaq Keith come in, but now you see more of the muscle depth being applied here for the Windsor Express. If you're the London Lightning, how can you be confident enough to take them off the boards and take this game away from them?
Well, you just kind of have to match them for it.
Straight, simple, and straight to the point. Good box out right there for the Lightning. Williams Jr. goes to work, goes off the pick. Cross-court pass. Nothing more you could say. Marcus Capers.
And that's something Capers added to his game over the past couple of years, being able to take that longer range shot, make himself more of a weapon.
Jones cross-courts over to Rayson, fires a three, and it's good.
Again, Rayson just really feeling it from distance right now.
Rayson's one of those guys that can warm up like a microwave. 35-30. Williams Jr., is he going to take a gamble? Yes, he does. Tight ropes the sideline, pro hops. And the Lightning step on the line. Opens up opportunities for Windsor.
We're going to see Chad Frazier check out. Shaq Keith step into the game. Then Kirk Williams coming out of the game for London. Joel Friesen stepping in.
Equitable substitutions applied on both parties. 7:03 to go.
I got to say, I know he's done it for a while. I'm still not used to seeing Logan Stutz without goggles.
Yeah, it's weird. That's his signature. Rayson fires a three at will, misses it. Maybe Logan Stutz is looking for a new character besides the goggle man. Friesen fires a three, no good. Jones stops. Keith, offensive foul.
And that's how Joel Friesen gets under your skin. He's so good at drawing those charges. They don't really keep track of that stat, but I imagine if they had last year, Joel Friesen would lead the league in charges drawn because he's so good at moving his feet, getting into position in front of a player, and it really gets under the skin of an offense when you see the same guy consistently drawing that call.
And plenty of fans are unaware that, you know, defense is the most crucial part of the game because it opens up plenty of opportunities as Williamson fires a fadeaway and it's no good. Rayson, Stutz. Inside with the spin. Three is no good. And here comes the London Lightning again. Marcus Capers off two defenders. Now he's in deep. Williamson, good cut inside. You better believe it. It's Dallenberg taking business in his own hands.
I like seeing that confidence from Dallenberg, being able to get up there, take the ball, not really looking anywhere else but the bucket that time.
Media timeout applied here. Lightning, they expand this lead to 7. And once again, a busy schedule ahead here in the NBLC. It's going to be more busier as we approach halftime and further into the second half, Chris. But, you know, we've seen these games happen over and over again. It's the 401 rivalry, but you know what? Two new teams, basically, a refreshed roster, albeit, you know, a couple of players staying from last year. But so far as these new players are really stepping up to the occasions for both the Express and the Lightning.
But for Lightning, it's almost by necessity with guys like Anderson and Whiteout. Guys like Akinkube, D'Alembert, Dixon Green really being asked to take those minutes. And they're running with them so far. A guy like Sefton Barrett's also done a great job with the minutes he's been given, especially earlier in the year. As for Windsor, they're a team that we've seen them do this before. They tend to have a decent amount of roster turnover every year. And they do a great job. All credit Coach Bill Jones. He seems to consistently pluck a gem out of nowhere. I mean, last year was Maurice Jones. You think of guys like Steph Bonneau in the past. There's always someone who you don't really see it coming, and they end up just really going off as a member of the Windsor Express.
And you know, it's always been the guards that have been working for those 1-2 punches for the Windsor Express. You mentioned Stephon Bonneau, and then you had Darren Duncan into the fold. We had Tony Bennett come in for a couple of years, but now with all those players out of the Windsor Express, now you have more confidence into the guards because now you have Maurice Jones. Now you have a good player that is shifty, like Devin White. And, you know, ask me, Braylon Rayson has been lighting it up for them. So now you got good, two confident guards you can rely on, and that's within Jones and Braylon Rayson.
And I think one of the other things Bill Jones does so well when scouting other teams is recognizing when he sees what he thinks is an undervalued asset, maybe a guy that isn't being used the right way on another team but would fit his style, and brings them in and maximizes them. Tony Bennett was an example of a guy who was a very good point guard for London, but was one of the best point guards in the league as a member of the Express. So he does a good job of scouting the other team, seeing guys who are doing pretty well on one team, but knowing that he can use them better, recruiting them, and getting them to play better under a system.
And I'm sure he realized he had his work cut out for him during the offseason when he only returned 3 players from last year's squad. It's been working out for them so far despite their record. Keith near the timeline with 5:39 to go. Keith driving, right hand, no good. And here comes the Lightning.
Joel Friesen did a good job recognizing Keith was going left and stepping in the way, forced Keith right, and then he had to force a bad shot off to his right.
And he even called it, too, a few minutes ago. He's a shifty defender. The pull-up by Williamson is no good. Tip around for the ball. Good save, but Maurice Jones couldn't contain it behind the line.
We're going to see a switch that we're going to be seeing a lot of tonight. Akinkube and D'Alembert swapping back and forth at that center position. If you can even say there's a center anymore in basketball, the way the game's changed.
Well, no, it's mostly forwards and guards, and you never know. Those guards could play forwards in a number of those games. 16 on the shot clock, Friesen. Going to work, mismatch. Works on it, 10 on the shot clock. Friesen, spin move. Gets deflected. 5 on the shot clock. They got to look for something, and the Express pokes it away. Here they come with numbers, 4 on 2. Rayson on the other end. Got it.
And you could see that coming, the way Jones was harassing Joel Friesen on defense. The quick hands really aggravating it, getting the turnover, and Windsor back the other way.
And
3 points.
And the Express cut the lead to 4. Whistle on the play. Maurice Jones pinned with a foul. Both of these clubs being careful when it comes to the contact so far, Chris, and considering what has happened within the last few games, I'm not surprised, but they're doing a real good job spacing out.
Well, I think for London, they're being awfully cautious because they don't want to have any more guys get in trouble, as we see Joel Friesen going to be short on the 3 there. Whereas for Windsor, I think they've been doing a good job of going inside and battling. It's just a case of London isn't really able to match that because of the foul situation. You can't get into foul trouble because if you're in foul trouble, you're going to have some issues. As we see Shaq Keith here and a couple of the Lightning players having a discussion.
Bill Jones trying to break it up. We're going to have a technical foul, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Bill Jones is able to be out that far on the court, actually.
Well, with the new restrictions for the coaching box this year.
Shaq Keith getting attacked there.
Yep. Yeah, you can imagine Shaq would be in some sort of jeopardy right there after that loose ball. Shaq Keith still pleading his case. So Bill Jones might have to take him out. But
well, it's going to be 3 fouls on Shaq Keith, too, so I think he definitely has to take a seat here, even just to cool off I think that's exactly what Bill Jones is doing right now. Chad Frazier about to come in.
We have double technical fouls. So they'll put one more foul on the board. They'll cancel out. It will be express ball via the possession arrow. And it is a good idea to take Shaq Keith out for the present time. Inbounds coming from White, and now Jones. He's going to look for a well-executed play. Going off Devin White's screen. Crossover. Fires it. My goodness.
And he had to get that release off quick. That did not look like a comfortable shot, but able to drain it.
It was more of a contested shot, but he got it to go. Friesen tries a rebut. Nothing. 4 minutes to go. And here comes Devin White again. Frazier over the Jones. Bill Jones wants his express squad to take the lead for the first time. Jones, spin moves, fall aways, and they get the lead for the first time tonight. Maurice Jones just lighting it up. Back-to-back shots right there, 5 in the last 2 possessions. Stepped into the basket.
Oh, tough.
That's Marcus Caper.
Very tough defending from the Windsor Express. Capers just makes a play. Great job.
A Capers keeper for the Lightning as they go back within 1. White fires it. No good, and the Lightning do a great job squeezing that board. Friesen driving. Ill-advised pass.
5-hole.
No goal.
Gonna see Hubert step onto the court. White checking out for Windsor.
Devin White, I'm sure, is going to take a breather. He's done a real great job.
London clearly trying to exploit a matchup because as soon as Hubert comes in the game, Kirk Williams Jr. checks back in too.
It's a good matchup waiting to happen in the second half. Under 3 minutes to go. The drive. Frazier. Off the screen. 8 on the shot clock. Shot's no good for Anthony Otley Jr., one of the Canadian content for the Windsor Express. Quick 3. So the Express and the Lightning really sparring on the boards, considering this is a must-win for both of these clubs. Jones off Stutz' pick. Now he's looking to get open. He does. Stutz goes to the right side, misses the shot, foul on the play.
I believe they're going to say offensive foul there on, I think that was Otley Jr.
That's right. So I'm sure JP and I got a lot to talk about at the Knockstrom halftime. We'll keep you updated with the scores around the league. And stay tuned for this game because it is getting to the nitty-gritty. Marcus Dixon Green keeps on lighting up the board.
And man, Martin Dixon Green has one of the purest jump shots I've seen. It's almost how you want to teach your kids how to do it.
Under 2 minutes to go here. Jones, wow, speedy demon. Gets double teamed, works his way through it, tight ropes the sidelines. It will stay express ball with 6 seconds on the shot clock. So Chris, JP, and I got to get ready. I'm sure you're going to educate this folks more because this has been an interesting game so far. We'll see you folks at the Knockstrom halftime. Chris Croucher.
All right, Jones able to drain the shot. Excellent play from the guard. Got to be a break in the play here. Ball kind of got away from Capers and the referee there. Minute 35, 42-41 for the London Lightning. Capers taking the ball up the court. Capers. Capers wants Stutz. Dishes it out to Williams. Williams Jr. with the 3. 45-41 London Lightning. Minute 15 left in the quarter. Maurice Jones. Does he have an answer? Mishandles it. Able to keep the ball though. Finds Frazier. Quick shot. Unable to go. It's going to be a foul there, I believe, on Marcus Capers. Off the ball, though. team fouls, 4 for London Lightning, 5 for the Windsor Express, so the limit not a factor yet. Braylon Rayson getting ready to check into the game. He's going to do that right now. Express ball after the foul. They can't decide who wants to inbound the ball here. Anthony Otley Jr. checking out of the game there. Here's Jones. Staring down Williams Jr. Takes the deep three-pointer and makes it. Maurice Jones with the huge shot for the Express. Brings them within 1. 46 seconds left. Capers setting up the offense. Goes after Stutz again. Finds Dixon Green. Lightning working around to Williams. Williamson loses the ball. Stutz the other way. Express going to slow things down. Set up what's likely to be their last shot of the quarter. 3-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Maurice Jones sets it up. Kills some time. Staring down Dixon Green. Takes another deep three and drills it. Maurice Jones is on fire for the Windsor Express. Lightning need a quick shot. Unable to go for Joel Friesen. An exciting end to the quarter there with the Express coming from behind, ending the quarter 47-45 for the Windsor Express. That was a finish to that second quarter. I'm sure the guys downstairs are going to have plenty to say about that. We're going to head downstairs for the Knockstrom halftime show with Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince. Aaron, take it away.
A game that inspires a new generation. Go rain wild and you'll feel the power of community. Fun, friendship, teamwork. You'll support in their faces.
Okay, Chris, here we are at the Knockstrom halftime. Express 47, Lightning 45. JP, no question about it. This 401 tilt could get really interesting right from the gate, but we've seen in the last few minutes Maurice Jones from the Windsor Express really lighting it up like gangbusters. He is unconscious.
Yeah, he is. He's been making a lot of shots, too, basically on one foot, including getting Windsor this lead into halftime. So, as you mentioned, he's been unconscious, making contested shot after contested shot, even with his size. So, he has definitely been a leader for the Express in this first half, especially what has been a 3-point barrage of a matchup.
But can you be any more surprised at him? I mean, Rookie of the Year, he improved his game during the offseason. I mean, this guy is on fire. He's among one of the lead in the NBLC guards.
Yes, and right now I think he's one of the main reasons, too, that Windsor's back into this, because of his 3-point shooting to get them into this, as well as Brayson. So now, of course, Windsor now up by 2 because of this shooting, because of your former Rookie of the Year, because of the new players coming in. Definitely a good time to step up if you're Windsor's players.
And the London Lightning, they're not doing bad themselves. They're becoming a monster among boards. Marcus Dixon Green stands out to me. Garrett Williamson's doing all he can, but from what I've seen so far, it's the Joel Friesen show when it comes to shooting right there as well.
Yeah, it has been. He's been also one of those players that have been really hitting a lot of three-pointers as well as part of this 3-point shootout at this point. Just able to get baskets inside and outside for him, as well as Dallin Barrett, as well as their usual players inside, driving inside, but it's just been about the perimeter all game long so far. Where the best team, I should say, to shoot from outside could come away with the victory. We're going to have to see if this keeps on going.
Yohani Dallin Barrett, being the younger dog for the London Lightning, I think he's doing good so far, especially off the ball.
I think so too, because if you've been seeing how he's been playing, able to play some good defense, get some decent rebounds, and get a couple of good plays in the paint. So he's able to get plays off the ball as well as, on the ball when he gets those chances inside with the rebounds.
And as you can see right there, 47-45 at the half. Busy games going on around the league right now. Let's go through a couple of them. I know Niagara is playing against the KW Titans, but let's see what the updates say right there, JP, because from what I seen last time, they were pretty close games.
Thank you very much. Of course, that's a great time to bring it up, too, because it is halftime there. 42-35 right now, Niagara River Lions over the KW Titans at this point. And it's been a pretty close battle, but for both quarters so far, the River Lions have led the scoring charge so far in that matchup. In terms of scoring, leading the way for the KW Titans has been Bazola and Tramar Sutherland, as Sutherland continues to perform this season, stepping up for his side. For the River Lions, it's the Samuel Mudrow show. 10 points so far, along with 4 rebounds, and now 5 rebounds and 7 points from Jerome Bouchard, as well Omar Strawn able to get a few assists, as well as 5 points in that one.
And you know, if Muldrow and Hard starts becoming monsters on the boards too, you know their blocks are going to go at an all-time high, and they're one of the reasons why they win the game. But the KW Titans, on the other hand, they have still yet to pick up a victory, but this is a really incredible squad right there. They picked up Darren Duncan from Windsor. They got a couple players right there, like you said, Jamar Sutherland. It's like, what has been their issue so far in this early season?
Well, step one, having 2 games played right now, because you are basically playing catch up with a lot of the league. But 2, you basically have, because there's only 2 games, you have not a lot of time to gel together as a group. A lot of new players coming to that side, along with some of the more veterans. So it's going to take time, as with Windsor, to get things together. With Kitchener-Waterloo, who they're playing pretty good to start off. I think they're going to be fine once things get going in the get-go in their system. It's just a matter of, once again, competing with these teams in this very tough Central Division.
What's going on down at the East? Because Atlantic Division, 4 good teams going at it, but what's going down over there?
Good question, because right now Cape Breton and St. John Riptide, they're playing right now 81-80 right now for the Highlanders over the Riptide in a very close battle with about 5 minutes to go. Well, with about 4 minutes to go, it is the Island Storm up by 3 over the Moncton Magic. So 2 very close battles going on over in the Atlantic Division, especially with Moncton scoring 20 points compared to just 13 for the Island Storm in their fourth quarter so far.
Island and Moncton making a good rivalry with each other in the early goings of this season. Frank Session has impressed me. Among all those other Island Storm players, they impressed me as well. But the Moncton Magics, once again, a lot of people are still surprised they are off and running to a good start. But then again, they shouldn't, because of the veteran leadership over there.
Yeah, Coach Salerno there over in Moncton. He's been definitely a good part to get this leadership together in Moncton and this core together. Plus, it helps when you guys have guys like Anthony Anderson, who's leading the way in scoring right now for them, 23 points. Al Stort right now, you have him coming in, 19 points in his matchup. Jeremy Williams, our player, coming in, 18 points. Terry Thomas coming on in, 17 points. So you have a lot of leaders coming into Moncton, where as long as they continue to perform, you're going to be always in ball games no matter what the situation. With the Island Storm, you just got to compete, especially against your former head coach.
What do you think goes through Joe Salermo's mind every time he plays against his former squad? Because he was there since day one, especially the Summerside Storm days. But now, different team, new city, new arena they call home. So what goes through his mind exactly?
I think what goes through his mind partially with of course, you want to win against your old team, but as well, I think there's a lot of his memories going through his mind about with his time with the team, I should say, as well as trying to think, okay, this team might be different than when I'm there now. How can I beat them? What kind of system may work? Are they using something similar? Or so it's just a matter of working things out. Probably a lot of things going through his mind right now in that fourth quarter right now, but I think the main focus is win the game.
And you know, St. John, the Riptide, they're trying to break off the cobwebs after taking their first loss of the year. Cape Breton, however, they're coming off the edges of picking up their first win of the season. When it comes to those two squads, what does it come down to when they wrap up the game here?
When they wrap up the game right now, with it being such a close matchup as it is right now out in the Atlantic between Cape Breton and St. John, because Cape Breton's now stretched that lead to 2 points, by the way, with about less than 5 minutes to go. But basically, you got to basically close things out. You got to make sure you do not miss a big-time shot, because if you miss 1, 2, 3, 4 shots in a row, you're going to be in trouble, where you're going to give the opponent a chance to come back or stretch out the gap. In this case, if you're Cape Breton, you want to try and slow down the clock right now and make sure you do not miss any opportunities. You cannot just chuck up a shot with 16 seconds on the shot clock and expect to still keep the lead, and especially a close one.
And now we transition back to this game. Windsor Express on a scoring tear because of Maurice Jones. What do they have to do to capitalize in the second half and not have those overtones of what happened during the preseason?
Right now, I think the overtones, one, box out the perimeter, because London right now, like Windsor, has been killing it on the outside. It's going to be like the bend but don't break kind of metaphor, where the first team to break may not be the one who comes away with a victory, of course. So if you're Windsor, I think you try and box out the triples, as well as try and prevent the second chance points, as well as try and reduce your chances with N1s, because there's a few of them that they allowed against London in that first half.
And the London Lightning, how do they resurge in the second half and wipe this 2-point deficit away and go on for 2 wins in a row?
I think right now with them, they've been performing really well in this first half, but I think if they're them, keep up the tempo. Try and work through the adjustments Windsor's about to make here, because you know they're going to try and prevent you from going on the outside. Try and make London go inside out a bit more and try and get some more contested shots. I think if you're London, try and space it out even more so if you can. Try and get some more opportunities. Try and get some more pick and rolls potentially. Set things up for the rest of your players and try and get some more players involved outside of Friesen and Williamson, because you know the key is going to be on them. And unless you have Bo Bolden coming out the bench, I think you also have to make sure, or you try and get yourself a double team possibly on Maurice Jones to try, because I know he's been making the shots in contested traffic. Maybe triple team him if possible when he tries to go up for three, because you know his hot spot at this point. But the right side of the three-point line, based on how he's been making shots, got to make sure he doesn't make those shots in that second half if you're London.
You're going to be in for a great ride. Sit back, relax, but not too much. It's only a 2-point game between the Express and the Lightning. 47-45, Windsor with the edge. We'll have more of the call here for the second half. We'll return here to Budweiser Gardens in just a few moments. You're watching the London Lightning on Knoxstrom.tv. Welcome back here to Budweiser Gardens. The start of the second half. Express 47, Lightning 45. With Chris Croucher, Aaron Sanders on hand. And it's been an amazing turn of events in the last few minutes of the second quarter. We'll just see how the London Lightning capitalizes in this opening quarter in the second half. So Maurice Jones giving Lightning a couple of fits right there in the last few minutes, Chris. But, you know, the beauty of having an intermission like that, you know, a lot of people could cool their jets and somebody else could step up.
Unless you stay hot. Mo Jones right there. Huge three-point shot for the Express.
Friesen, teardrop.
And a good answer for the Lightning. I think coming into this quarter, they need to start strong. You know Windsor's still going to be feeling it based on the end to that second quarter. So it's important for London to come out here, put up some points of their own, have a bit of an answer for them.
And we'll see how that goes for them for the next few minutes. Out of bounds called. The Express will maintain possession with 9 seconds on the shot clock. We've seen Shaq Keith get a little bit heated in the second quarter. He's back into the game now. Shot's no good, and here comes the Lightning. Full strength. Good tip-in right there by Garrett Williamson. And you know he's going to strike it rich in these situations. Frazier off the pick. All by himself for the three, goes off the front and
London
picking up the rebound.
Lots of spectators on London on that rebound. Just made it way too easy for Devin White to get that board.
Devin White going to work. Look at that beautiful ice cream scoop by Marcus Capers.
You know, Capers is a lot like Williamson in that they kind of sense the moment and they know when to make the play, when to step in and take over. We're going to see a huge block there from Martin Dixon Green. But Capers, Williamson, both guys who kind of understand the flow of the game, understand when things aren't maybe going their way. Now's my time to take over a bit. That's what Capers and Williamson do so well.
Jones kicks it around. At the end of the rainbow, it's Logan Stutz. Gets the tap to answer the goal. Express hold on to a 3-point lead right now. Dixon Green to the basket. No good. And here comes Keith. Cross courts over the Frazier. Loses his control. 3 on the way. Rattles in and out for Devin White. Lightning again on the break. A grotesque rebound. Jones. 1-on-1 against Friesen. Fires it in his face.
He's been making that shot, though. I don't blame him for taking it.
Friesen hasn't felt it yet, but most of those threes went in the early stages of the first half. That one wouldn't go for him. Less than 3 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Look at footwork on Frazier. And that's going to be an offensive foul by him.
Well, that's 2 in this game already. Again, Joel Friesen. He gets under your skin. He just really annoys you on defense because he's able to do that. That time, he just pulled the chair out from the defender there. He led on like he was going to put up a strong defense. So as soon as I believe that was Shaq Keith there, went to push him, went to back down on him, he just folded up.
This is a good stop for the Lightning if they pull through and go all the way with it. Williamson leading the charge, fires it away, no good. Stutz is the one that picks up the board. And here comes Jones, cross-courts it over to Frazier. Frazier going behind the back, goes inside. Pump fakes, pumps twice, kicks it up inside. Down deep, and the foul is called.
That one's going to be on Marcus Capers there.
So thanks to Joel Friesen, the London Lightning are well awake in this game. Well awake defensively.
We're going to see Kirk Williams Jr. there step in. Garrett Williamson a little gingerly walking to the bench.
Well, like you said before, this is a guy.
He's going straight to the trainer there.
Yeah, this is a guy that puts in a lot of work for the London Lightning for a while. And hopefully we see him back on the court as soon as possible.
Should say I might have exaggerated. Thought he was going to the trainer, just grabbing a towel, actually. So we don't need to hit the panic button.
Either way, the guy deserves a breather. So it's a 5-point cushion for the Express. Good footwork right there. Marcus Capers, once again, he's basically the story of the Lightning's offense here in the third quarter at the time being. Frazier, cross courts to Keith, one-on-one against Williams Jr., fires a fall away, goes off the top.
Great hustle there from Devin White. Would not be denied.
Devin White's one of those guys that could go all around, and he's showing you his muscle power as he balloons this Express lead to 5 now with 7:36 to go. Williams Jr. all the way. White's trying to break through. But right there stopping him is D'Alembert. Maurice back at the top, goes in the middle. Fires it at will, draws the contact, it goes off.
Great job by Capers. Very tough matchup for him, but able to stop him, irritate the shot, and didn't draw a foul, pardon me.
Friesen on the other end. Gets it to go. 1-point game now. Maurice looking for options. Keith goes up to try to help him, but Maurice goes with the isolation. You better believe that's an and one.
Maurice Jones will not be denied. Led the Windsor Express 16 points in that first half, already contributing now in this third quarter for the Express. They're just holding on. London's doing a great job of keeping up, and the Windsor Express doing a good job of keeping London at arm's distance. They haven't let London really creep up all the way. They're just keeping that little bit of reach away.
Maurice Jones picking up where he left off in the first half, even though that and one free throw would not go for him. Lightning quick. Here's Kirk all the way to the basket. Foul on the play, so D'Alembert will head to the line.
I love that pass from Kirk Williams Jr. Absolutely zero hesitation. Saw the pass he wanted to make, didn't even think about it, just fired it, and he put a lot of sauce on that one, put a lot of heat there. And this is why to send that one down low to Yohanni D'Alembert.
This is why he's one of the reasons why this Lightning bench has been very useful and resourceful for Keith Vassell in the beginning of this season. Nobody saw it coming. Nobody would expect these players to gel in and create that form of the nucleus, but they are now, as those free throws don't go for D'Alembert. Jones, good feed inside to White.
And I like what Devin White's doing on offense. He's just keeping it simple. He's not doing anything crazy, but he's going down low, getting to the right spots, and putting up points.
You know, a lot of people wouldn't like stopping in the post and look for a pass, but, you know, Maurice Jones has that high IQ. On the other end, Kirk going to work against Keith. Pump fakes, gets it off the glass.
Imagine what a luxury it is to have a team defending champions, and you're able to bring a former six-man off the year off the bench this year. Again, the number that they're returning and the depth that they can bring is incredible for London. But Windsor putting up a fight of their own here.
They are. That three doesn't go, and Friesen on the board. Will cross-courts it over there. Kirk's time to shine, and it goes off short. Here comes the Express. They're mismatched, but they will regain full strength. Frazier, Hezzy, the scoop, the bucket. So a long way to go here in the second half as the Express lead by 4 over London. London's doing a good job so far, but the lead hasn't been working out for them. Friesen all the way. We'll have a foul, but a good sacrifice on his end.
Yeah, he didn't really get time to put his arms in front of him. He pretty much went all impact right into his chest. Windsor Express going to call a timeout here.
64-60 at the present time. Stay tuned, folks. You're going to have a lot more to see when we come back here at Budweiser Gardens. 4-point cushion for the Windsor Express, but the London Lightning doing all they can, and it's been working for them. Joel Friesen, Chris Croucher has been working his rear end off. Same with Garrett Williamson. He's taking a breather right now, but you better expect if you don't put a body on Maurice Jones, he's just going to keep on scoring.
Well, even if you do put a body on Maurice Jones, some of the three-pointers he's making with a hand in his eye, long-distance threes, and he's been able to connect on those. He's been a real catalyst to this Windsor Express lead, as many would expect, too. Just a dynamic player, one of the most exciting I think we've seen in terms of of his explosiveness in the NBLC's history.
Exactly. Friesen knocks down both of the free throws, and that's been one of their vices into this game, so it's kind of contentful for Keith Vassell to see those free throws go. 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Braylon Rayson back into the game. Keith has it. On the right side, fires a three. He's got it. Steph Curry range if I ever seen it.
And you see Shaq Curry go low so many times. Sometimes you forget he does have some range. He's not a consistent three-point shooter, but if you leave him open, he will drain it.
Fight for the ball. It's going to be a jump ball. And the possession arrow will be the final word on that. So it will go back to the Express with 4:41 remaining. So Jones all inside. Look at the move right there. Spins once. Stutz try to put it up. No good. Devin White on the follow.
Again, Devin White, just a simple game tonight, but being very effective for the Express in this third quarter.
It's one of the underdogs for the Express.
I think they're gonna say the pick by Kirk Williams Jr. was a little too harsh there.
You got to admire him being punctual like that, but once again, a little too muscle could cost your team. Grayson, one-on-one against Friesen, finds Keith. Keith, once again, another three. Can you say unbelievable?
Absolute heat check, but he's still hot. Oh, my.
My goodness. I have a feeling he didn't cool down from the second quarter, and now he's just using it to their advantage.
London's got to have an answer on this possession.
Exactly. This lead is balloons to 10. The size up. And a good foul. Akengube is going to be off to the line.
It's going to be 3 on Stutz there. I know it's pretty late in the game. It's not a huge factor. But if you're London, I might want to go inside and see if I can get him pick up that fourth one, have him sit to start the fourth quarter a bit.
In the last few games, Logan Stutz have competed despite the foul trouble, but nonetheless, he keeps on picking up double-double after double-double. So he finds a way to persevere through all those confrontations, and he's still able to concentrate, fight for those boards, and lead the Windsor Express.
And I got to say, for a big man, Logan Stutz's footwork is, in this league, one of the best at footwork that I think I've seen anyone operating down low have.
Jones all by himself. The fall away. Gets rocked behind, and here comes the Lightning. 3-on-2. Whistle on the play. So we're seeing business picking up here, Chris, and this is why this tilt has been very interesting over the past 6 years.
Well, both teams have enough guys who have been around the Windsor Express and London Lightning, respectively. Guys like Logan Stutz, guys like Kirk Williams Jr., guys like Marcus Capers, guys like Joel Friesen, who have been on either one or both sides of this rivalry. They know the passion, the heat that comes with it.
And you better believe that goes in. Marcus Capers making a statement over Devin White.
And again, Marcus Capers, not a guy who usually calls his own number, but the Lightning have been struggling to put up points, and that's when he says, okay, we're having a little bit of problems. I'm going to fix this. And Marcus Capers was showing great initiative, getting that bucket and the chance for one more here.
And this was exactly the type of attitude we've seen from him late last season, and he came in. It did wonders off the bench. Comes off with the and one.
Again, Marcus Capers is one of those true glue guys for the London Lightning, and he's really evolved his offensive game, even dating back to the start of last season.
Keith back is what we call his hot spot. He's still going to fire it again, and he connects. Are you kidding me?
All right, you're going to have to double team him anytime he touches that Budweiser Gardens logo right there, because he's lethal from long range right now.
He is unconscious. Him and Jones freezing to the basket. Gets rejected by Hubert. But Marcus Capers, once again, taking matters in his own hands. I think it's no question to see who's really leading up the charge for both of these clubs. Stutz inside into his house. Gets the jump hook to go.
Again, just ditches his man with some nice footwork and able to make that shot. Just very smooth operator down low. He's got that YMCA game.
Barrett fighting all the way to the basket. Doesn't get rewarded, and here comes Keith again. You better look out for the fella. Can he do it again?
Nope.
He did!
Oh, man.
Are you kidding me? Shaquille Keith having a ball tonight.
Well, sometimes luck comes with skill, and that was a very friendly bank for Shaq Keith. Another three-pointer.
Shaquille's got to have at least 12 points in this quarter right now. London desperately looking for answers.
They got Kirk Williams Jr.
Look at the fall away. Akinkube coming into the fold. The Express with a 10-point game with 1:37 to go. Don't count this Lightning team off for even a second. This is where they work their wonders. Stutz fighting for the basket. Doesn't get the jumper to go. And here comes Friesen again. Friesen with the hezzy. Stops right in the free throw line. Gets it up inside. The shot's no good. The put back, and that's going to be a goaltend. Kirk Williams Jr. gets 2 more on his resume. And a Lightning timeout, and it's pretty much a good idea if you want to cool down. Shaquille Keith, what a night he's been having so far.
And the way Windsor was rolling, you could tell they were playing with a lot of confidence there. Shaq Keith really energizing the whole Windsor Express team. I think that's a good timeout to take for London. You got some points, got a little bit of that momentum taken away. Now see if you can kill a little bit more momentum, have them sit down for a bit. But one of the things Windsor's done really well in this game, and it shows the mental fortitude of a lot of their players, is that when there's been that sort of delay, whenever there's been a timeout trying to slow them down, they've come out of the timeout just as hot and just as energetic. So Windsor's doing a good job of keeping it simple, just playing their game. They aren't going to the timeout and making 20 different adjustments. They're not going to the timeout with 3 different subs coming onto the floor. They aren't playing any mental games. They're saying, this is how we're going to play. This is how we're going to score. Your job is to stop us. They're making London have to make the adjustments.
And the Express are doing a good job condition-wise, because we see a flurry of substitutions, but everybody that's been on that court has been successful either on the ball or off the ball, and one of those pure examples right there is Devin White starting off.
Devin White, a guy who he hasn't really done anything that makes you hop out of your seat here, but just very steady, very reliable game tonight. Guy who's done a little bit of the little things. He's done some of the big things too with that scoring in this third quarter there.
It has been an explosion for the Windsor Express, but the London Lightning will not back down. This is their home turf right here, and they want to pick up a victory to go 2-1 on the Budweiser Gardens floor. 1:17 to go in the third quarter. The Express have no fouls to give. The Lightning, they have 3. .12 on the shot clock. Keith doesn't get that one to go, and that's probably good for the Lightning as they go lightning quick. Capers inside. Friesen gets Keith off his feet, tries again for the 3, and it goes short. Tighty roping the sidelines is Williams Jr. Good effort by him. Capers, 3 on the shot clock, goes to work, gets it blocked. I believe it will be a goaltend. Yes, it is.
I think that's the right call there. It was a close one anytime you got it on the backboard there.
Well, hold the phone. They're going to call a foul. A good take for the Express, but the Lightning, they know that their mission right now is to attack the basket.
Should add coming into the game, we're getting our first look at Eric Parker in this game.
Eric Parker, a well-seasoned veteran in the 519. He was part of the practice squad last season, and now he's back officially on the Express roster.
Well, if you count the games he played for Windsor last year, he's actually a 5-year veteran of NBL Canada. That might be the longest tenured guy, well, aside from a guy like Anthony Anderson that's in the league right now.
One of the veterans in the NBLC, Maurice Jones, count it, the foul. Switching hands right there, and the ice cream scoop again to finish it off.
Again, he's just a stick of dynamite when he's in the game. Maurice Jones, so explosive. And we mentioned those microwave players, but like he's almost like the old school ones that were a little nuclear, the way he's able to go off. Oh, yeah.
Maurice is having an outstanding game here. Among the supporting cast of the Windsor Express. But man, you got to tip your hats off to both clubs. Another substitution. So Maurice Jones comes off for the final 30 seconds of this quarter. Capers try to fend off the Express with the penetration. Barrett goes to work, gets a little footwork in. 8 seconds to go. The shot's no good, and here comes Rayson again. 5 seconds to go. Rayson makes a wish, and it comes true. You better believe Braylon Rayson will take those shots from here to over there in Stratford.
And man, this has been a very good quarter for the Windsor Express, obviously. But just when you have your shooters get that hot, those were not easy shots. Those were not set plays. Those were not even open looks. Just really difficult shots, and they made them.
Don't even click that mouse. Don't even touch your computer screen. We got a doozy here in the 401 rivalry. The Express 86 and the Lightning 73. We'll be back for the fourth quarter right after this. It's showtime, clutch time, 86-73, Windsor over London. We welcome you back to the Budweiser Gardens here in London, Ontario for more London Lightning basketball here on Knoxstrom.tv. Chris, before we go through what happened through the third quarter, we'll remind the viewers, the Riptide, they lose against the Cape Breton Highlanders. They pick up their second victory, 97-89, and the Island Storm fend off the Moncton Magic by 7. Close game at the Meridian Center, 78-74, River Lions over the KW Titans. Okay, third quarter. We've seen a lot of players that have been catching fire lately. Maurice Jones, Shaquille Keith, but London Lightning still pulling through with Joel Friesen, and we see Garrett Williamson get rejected right there. So we're going to see how many of these players have actually cooled off from that three-point rage that has transpired in the third quarter. Pass down low is going to be a holding foul. But once again, that third quarter has been tremendous. One of the best quarters I've seen in this league this season.
Well, I mean, it was just their shooters got hot. I mean, you had that huge three at the end there by Braylon Rayson. And then, of course, Mo Jones was just making them from everywhere on the court. We're going to have a turnover, though.
Rayson, Butterfingers. Here comes Williamson. Gets slapped around. Rayson with the foul. So Braylon Rayson, one of the underdogs for the Express. I keep saying that term underdog because when it comes to this team, you have plenty of them, especially the London Lightning. Both of these clubs, pretty much a new roster, albeit a couple of players returning from last year, but they are striking it rich right now. Corner three, no good. The Express have a 13-point lead. Offensive foul.
Yeah, they're going to say Eric Parker there with the chicken wing when you reach around with that arm there.
Once again, and I talked about this with JP on the way here, you know, it's quite a shame that when you have a big talent like him, but one of the vices for a big fella would be drawing that contact too much and picking up those fouls. Friesen, on the other hand, fires a three. But once again, it's a factor, but you know what? If they play their cards right, they'll go places. Tight roping the ball is Friesen. He couldn't control it, so the Express get the ball back. Good drive. The leaner, no good. Cross-court pass. And the foul.
A little surprised he didn't go out to Friesen there. I had Friesen behind the three-point line open.
Capers from A to B on the fast break. Maurice Jones comes back after taking the intermission between the third and fourth quarter off.
Looks like Martin Dixon Green's getting ready to come in for London as well.
This is the exact lineup the Lightning wanted prior to tonight. Considering what they've gone through, they are doing a terrific job. They're only down 12, but once again, as we've seen over and over again at Budweiser Gardens, you don't count this team out in the second half, especially when you play against the Express. So Logan comes back in, taking Eric Parker out for the Express. Clubs racing again for three.
You can't cover that. That was defended as well as you can. He just makes the shot anyway.
What is going on with the Express?
You know, Jones and Rayson, that's a small backcourt, but boy, can they shoot.
Lightning looking for answers. 10:06 to go. Friesen off the pick. Three on the way. No good. And they got to be careful with the threes because they shot around 26% last night, and they almost lost all of that. Jones brings it back up to the corner. Goes off Stutz' pick. High-low inside the Stutz. 7 on the shot for sure. The bank is still open this Saturday night. Easy three. No good. Rayson's one to clean it up. Stutz, pump fake, gets tagged.
Well, that was a short break for Capers. He's going to be coming right back in here.
So Capers comes back into the game, doing a great job right now in what has been the busiest night for NBL Canada tonight. And this is the marquee matchup to watch right here. 9:15 to go. Stutz helps Jones. Jones goes inside, tries to penetrate, fires it from the free throw line, makes a wish, no good, and it's a rebound by Dallenberg. Good crisp pass.
Again, the hardest call in almost all of sports is the charge or blocking foul. So you can't really give the refs too much of a hassle for that.
No, for sure. We're up here and they're down there, so they have another view of it. Under 9 minutes to go. The Express lead by 14. They want to pick up a win. Look at the drive. You got the mismatch right there.
Great steal.
But it pays off. Here comes Stutz again on the drive. Going left, going right. Puts it up with the left. No good. Ball's poked around. And who has the ball? It's going to be a fight for it, and the possession arrow will be the factor.
Possession arrow in Windsor's favor here.
Yes, as Anthony Otley Jr. grabs the horns. And they will break it up. So the Express will have the ball again.
I think Stutz was in almost disbelief, so much disbelief that he had a fast break on his own there that he almost was forgot what to do with it. Ends up with the a little bit of a mess, but Windsor still gets the ball.
He stuttered a little bit near the timeline, but they were able to get a play up and fight for the ball. Jones one-on-one against Capers. They're calling for the ISO. They got it. Cross-court pass over there to Otley Jr. Fires the three, and it's no good. Lightning have it, 4-on-5. Not in their favor, but Williamson try to clean it up. No good. Stutz with the rebound. Here comes Jones. Rayson. Once again, no answers for Braylon Rayson. .16 game.
I'm trying to think. I don't think Braylon Rayson's actually had a single open shot. They've all been contested.
He has that power into his upper body to let it off at will. Pull-up jumper, Kirk Williams Jr. And maybe once again, it's the simple things that will bring the Lightning back.
Quick foul there on Marcus Capers.
Quick timeout on the floor here. Lightning want to talk it over. They're down 14. We'll come back as we take a breather. You're watching the London Lightning here on Knockstrom.tv. As we indicated before, don't count the London Lightning off, especially in this situation. They're down 14 points, but a lot could happen in this next 7 minutes and change of this one. But they have to be careful in the fouls. They only have 2 fouls to give. The Express have 3. Keith, and there you go, Chris. You mentioned that spot right there. But he's going to go.
He was thinking about taking that, too.
He thought too long. Kirk Williams Jr. with the swap. Good pass inside. And that's simple. Marcus Capers. The London Lightning bench has been productive the whole evening. 7 minutes to go. Jones, with the footwork. Couldn't get the shot to go. Stutz on the tip. You gotta stop that guy. If it isn't Maurice Jones, it's Logan Stutz always answering down in the post. Good drive. The shot's no good. On the rebound is Capers. Just as outside. Williams Jr. all by himself. Williamson pump fakes, goes inside, through the traffic, no good. Tip in, no good. Another tip, no good. Third tip, no good. Capers with the fight.
So many chances there, and Windsor not once boxing out. Every time the ball came down, it was in London Lightning hand.
3 guys were right there like a deer in headlights for the Express, and the London Lightning never say die attitude for these guys. Impressive. Brian Akengube.
Again, London, they've been struggling in this game, but they really haven't gone anywhere. The effort's still there. So I think if they can keep this effort up and start actually making some of their shots, I think that's what they need to get going. I think you got to get a guy like Friesen back in the game, see if he can make some shots from range.
Friesen's taking a rest. He was very productive beyond the arc at the beginning of this game, but it fizzled out for him just a little bit in the second half. Both of those free throws are a no-go for Akengube. Grayson steps on the line.
Great pressure from Martin Dixon Green. Read the pass and made a great cut on it. Forced Brayson Raylan out of bounds there. Or Braylon Rayson, pardon me. I'm going to get that mixed up like at least 5 more times before the game's done.
Well, considering how quick he's going, you know what? That's quite all right. It's been a blur the way he's been playing so far. Good take of the basket, but it's no good. Both of these clubs now have 2 fouls to give. Jones all by himself attacking. No, he doesn't. 2 passes later in. Stutz. Oh, he dekes him out, left him in his socks. And Braylon Rayson again connects.
Great ball movement. Got London running around and scrambling on defense and ended up in the hands of the last guy you wanted it to end up with, Braylon Rayson. Another big shot.
I think it's showtime for Marcus Capers. It's time for him to take over. Good right hand by Akengube. Now you see Marcus Capers trying to apply full court pressure right there. He's the only guy in the face of the Windsor Express. And he's still putting in work right down the post against Devin White. Jones again for the 3, no good. And that ball gets tapped out of bounds. So as we've seen here, Chris, not a lot of answers when it comes to the Express. They're shooting everywhere, contested, uncontested. But once again, the London Lightning, they want to look for answers, but they're only getting them offensively.
They actually the Windsor Express kind of look like the Lightning, the way the Lightning, Capers a nice bucket there, but the way the Lightning last year seemed to be able to shoot from everywhere and still drain it. Windsor taking a little bit of a page out of their notebook, and they're doing a very good job defensively, too. This is the highest scoring offense in the NBLC, and you've got them at 83 points with 4 minutes, 30 seconds left. That's an outstanding performance in your own end.
An impressive reversal of fortune, and it all comes down to the core. The Express 96, the Lightning 83, with 4:37 to go in this game. We're the only game on the air right now in the NBLC. All 3 games are down and done for. Williamson to the basket. He's off to the line. Well, my mistake. We still have the River Lions and the Titans going on, but yeah, we got 2 good games going on right here. Express are up 12, but the River Lions and the Titans, it's a 3-point game for the River Lions, and once again, a team that you cannot sleep on, because the way Joe Razzle has been coaching these young men, it has been phenomenal. You couldn't expect any more better from the Niagara River Lions. This is 2 free throws made by Williamson. 11-point game. This game is far from over. Rayson. You got 3 of the Express leading scorers on the court right now.
Nice
Stutz
pass.
cuts inside, gets it to go.
Devin White, again, just a simple little bounce pass. Great play to set up Stutz.
Stutz now getting into this. Akengube finds Friesen. He takes it all by himself, tips it, no good. And a good effort right there. Williams Jr., no 3. And it's a rebound by Stutz. This Budweiser Gardens crowd still cheering the Lightning on. It's never too late. Jones in the isolation gets it to go.
Just a little stutter step there, able to blow by the defense. Caught London napping just a little bit, able to put 2 more on the board.
And they hit the century mark, and the Lightning are still under 100 points. That is quite rare. Whoa, you could hear that from the nosebleed seats right there. A quick foul. And Chris, once again, we mentioned the Lightning average about 112 points a game. Before last year, there was only 3 occurrences where the Lightning scored less than 100 points, and the Windsor Express was one of those teams that kept them under.
And Bill Jones has always had a great defensive system. It's always been the calling card of the Windsor Express. And when you're able to combine that defense, and you've got guys like Braylon Rayson and Maurice Jones shooting the way they are, that's a very, very tough team to beat. And I like the fight back, too. Windsor, again, had a really bad stretch, 3 straight losses. And they came in here confident, feeling like they were going to win. They didn't let it get to their heads at all.
An interesting omen for both of these clubs. Jones with the fake and the drive and the whistle. So the London Lightning, they will not come back here until next Sunday. That will be a 2 p.m. start, and they will play against the new kids on the block, the St. John's Edge. But 2 days before that, the Windsor Express will have a crack at them. So 2 crucial games right there, considering how red hot the Edge has been at the beginning of the season. They're now 7-2. Less than 3 minutes from the end of the game. Possibly. Jones in the spin cycle, the fall away. Oh, my goodness. That's a top 10er, folks.
Again, shot clock just about to expire. Maurice Jones.
Jones has been catching fire along with Rayson and Shaq Keith. And the Express is now within 15. Once again, give credit to the London Lightning, fighting over there east at St. John's, and then going back to Niagara, picking up an impressive win. And Devin White with an impressive take to the basket.
Big fan of Devin White's game tonight. Just kept it simple and very effective.
Williamson with a little how do you do. The shot's no good. Stutz with a rebound. They fight for it, but will stay with the Lightning. Unless the foul's called.
I don't think they called that jump ball. I think that's going to be a foul on Marcus Capers.
And it will be Capers. So the London Lightning, they will go back to the drawing board and take a well-deserved breather after a long road trip. So will the Express. And the London Lightning, they need all the rest they could get because their next home game will be against the Edge. And you really got to put a body on Carl English if you want to get a game and take that W away from them. How did Maurice break through that? That was like an elevator doors play for him. Akinkube.
Yo, London's got 3-point shooters. I know it's a pretty sizable lead right now, but I don't want to count them out quite yet.
Chris, I'm going to leave you with the last 144. I will see you again. And it's all yours, my friend.
Back down the floor. Nice layup there by Braylon Rayson. Friesen going to set up the London Lightning here. They need some points quick if they want to try and come back here. Pump fake, Kirk Williams cuts in. A little bit wild, doesn't work, but they are able to get the rebound. And we're going to have a timeout here after that Brian Akinkube basket. Shaq Keith going to check out of the game. Mike Lucier is in the game. Jones. Already bringing the pressure. London trying to force a turnover. Get that turnover. Friesen back the other way to Williamson. Fast break for London. A little bit of a wild shot from Capers, and it's not going to work. Windsor comes back the other way. That might have been the last gasp from the Lightning there. Lucier turns it over. London coming back the other way here. Gonna see 2 changes from the Windsor Express. Maurice Jones gonna check out of the game. Got Anthony Otley coming into the game, as well as Michael Achempong. Achempong, pardon me if I got that one wrong. Stutz is also going to come out of the game alongside Devin White, and Eric Parker going to check in. So Coach Bill Jones going to the bench late here, getting his guys some minutes. Capers. Friesen's going to go for the 3. Doesn't convert, and that'll just about do it here in London. Achempong to Lucier. Back to Lucier. 2 points. Capers. Just gotta let the clock die out a bit here. Freezing. Air ball. And that'll just about do it. Shot clock non-existent right now. They gotta get over half still, though. And they do. And London, okay, just letting Windsor run out the rest of the clock here. And that'll be game as the clock ticks down to the final second. Windsor Express 108, London Lightning 91. Windsor ending their 3-game losing streak. A big win here for the Express and huge implications for the Central Division as both teams shaking hands. A tough finish for the London Lightning. They gave a fight all the way. Just ran out of gas at the end there. Again, London just coming off of a road trip out east and in Niagara they played last night. A tough task for the Lightning. And the Windsor Express more than happy to take advantage and get themselves a W here. So again, that is 108 for Windsor, 91 for the London Lightning. Both teams, a very effective ending to the game for the Windsor Express, and both teams battled, not giving an inch until that fourth quarter where Windsor pulled away. Now we're going to be heading down to the court for the Knockstrom post-game show. Pardon me. It'll be Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince taking it from here. My name was Chris Croucher. Aaron, take it away.
108-91 is the final score. The Lightning dropped 2 straight home games, and the Windsor Express, their 3-game losing streak is broken. JP, 3 players that stood out in my mind for the Windsor Express. Number 1, Maurice Jones, hats off to him, shooting at will. Number 2, Shaq Keith, shooting from right there, the Budweiser Gardens logo. And number 3, to top it all off, I can't believe Braylon Rayson either. So those were the catalysts of tonight's game, and it goes to show that you could shoot anywhere and you can make it if you have some confidence.
Yeah, I'm absolutely stunned from the shooting performance because, as you mentioned, those 3 absolutely dominated, because Maurice Jones, 28 points for him tonight on 11 of 24 shooting, one of the best performances he's had in his career in the NBLC. You have Braylon Rayson, 24 points off the bench, 9 of 14 shooting. Then you have Shaq Keith shooting the lights out, 17 points as well, with 4 or 5 shooting from deep. But yeah, it's just about confidence at this point, because there was so many contested fadeaway shots that were made in this game that basically, if you made a wish upon a star, the star would come and hug you and give you the wish for free. It's because it was absolute domination, really, all game long, especially for shooting. Again, one of the best shooting performances I've seen in Windsor for a while, at least, especially with all the many contested shots.
But on the other end, the London Lightning, I mean, we've seen Joel Friesen fire it up at the first half, but he was a little bit more quiet in the second half. But you know what? You got to give credit to Martin Dixon Green and Brian Akingube trying to keep the game together. And, of course, Garrett Williamson, because no matter what, every game he's been among one of the top 3 leading scorers for the London Lightning. So hats off to them. But once again, the defense did not find any answers for the Windsor Express.
Yeah, right now you mentioned Marcus Capers leading the way and scoring 22 points on the night for the London Lightning, along with 17 points for Friesen Laddie, but basically just could not keep up with Windsor's offense for them as much as they competed or shot the lights out as much as they could, because they still shot for the game about 36%. But I think what really put the dagger in for the Lightning was shooting just 24% of that fourth quarter, really, because they had a lot of chances. They got a lot of rebounds. They got a lot of second and third chances. They just couldn't keep up, really, with the shooting bonanza that was the Windsor Express tonight.
Well, you know, both of these clubs are going to go back to the drawing board. The Windsor Express is going to take a well-deserved breather. After traveling east, they come here. Now they could go back home in the safety confines. And then for the London Lightning, they're back here. But once again, they're not back here until next Sunday. And an interesting fact before we wrap things up, this is the Express' first win on the Budweiser Gardens court since Game 1 of the Central Division Finals back in 2016, and this is the first time the London Lightning has dropped 2 straight here since their series against the Hurricanes back in 2016. So a lot of things to take in, but for the Windsor Express, it wasn't just a moral victory, it was just a statement victory for them in this 401 tilt.
It was an absolute statement victory, that's for sure. They needed this victory because, like we mentioned in the pregame, Windsor, of course, came in with that 3-game losing streak. And with the suspensions going on with Royce White and Ryan Anderson, they're able to take advantage on the offensive side because you didn't have those 2 defensive staples really to compete against tonight, which kind of led in part to these performances. But you can't make that as the number one reason. Of course, you have to have offensive performance. I don't know if it's going to be a question of can they keep it up at this point if you're Windsor. If you're London, meanwhile, I think right now for London, there's still a lot to work on at times right now for this season, especially on the defensive side. Right now, they got some offensive consistency. They just do not have the same on the defensive end, so to speak, yet. So if they can start boxing things out, starting contest shots and, get some luck out of when the Stars are not hugging the Express side or hugging the opponents, I should say. Should be interesting to see because I think Coach Keith Vassell, I should say, is going to have a lot to discuss.
The London Lightning, what are some of the positives you got to take in and what are some of the improvements you got to make for the next game?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to the point of that because the rebounds were one definite advantage in this game. They got the rebounding advantage. One thing as well on top of the distribution, they got the more assists than Windsor, but Windsor had the better ball distribution, so to speak. So they got to make sure that even though it doesn't sometimes count for assists, somehow find a way to get those kind of good ball control and distribution plays to get those shots that they need to have on the offensive end. And lastly, of course, I think one of the main positives really was still with not having that many turnovers, just 13 turnovers apiece. But that being said, defense is still something they need to improve on, especially on the outside perimeter, because with Niagara, they got the luck of the ball bouncing off the rim in that game. For tonight, against Windsor, everything was being made, including from the Budweiser Gardens logo. So, essentially, they got to figure out a way to box things out, try and force teams to be more inside out than outside in at times in these games. And if it's more of an inside-out team, make sure you're there to get those rebounds and don't allow second, third, fourth chance opportunities.
And they got 8 days to improve it because, once again, the next home game will be against the St. John's Edge. You got to find some way to attack Carl English and Rashawn Brodus along with Charles Hinkle and all that other squad. So the new kids on the block is going to come to town. But when it comes to look at it, even in the early goings of this season, it's a veteran game. So you're going to have a good rivalry right there because the London Lightning, they got vengeance on their sleeves right now, and they want to give it to the St. John's Edge.
Yeah, right now with the St. John's Edge coming into town, of course, London went to St. John's about a week or two ago and played some games there. Did not have much success there at all in Newfoundland and Labrador. So I think the revenge is going to be try and make sure you get the mistakes that happened against them that time and fix them, because this is going to be the opportunity to do so. The opportunity to prove, okay, we are the defending champions. We are still going to have a shot here, even with the new players on these teams, especially with London, especially with, of course, St. John's being an expansion team and a very good expansion team at that. So it's going to be fun to watch.
And JP has the final set in it. Once again, the final score, the Express 108, the Lightning 91. We thank all of you for watching, and we hope you tune in next Sunday where the Lightning will play host to the St. John's Edge. So once again, a big thanks to all the crew around here. It has been a great game, and JP will be on the play-by-play next Sunday. So tune in for that, and we hope to see you around then. So this has been a presentation of Knoxstrom Digital Media, producing the media excellence around Ontario. Till next time, for JP, Justin Prince, this be Aaron Sanders saying so long from the Forest City.